Hello, hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game. And today I'm here to talk about my League of Explorers budget Mech Mage deck. This is the deck that I've designed for anyone who's still new to the game but went ahead and bought the League of Explorers Adventure because it was the latest one. You thought it had some cool looking cards and you were excited to play. And you now want to build a competitive deck using those League of Explorers cards along with a handful of cards from previous sets that you can craft. And I've set some rules up for this deck that essentially the cards you have to craft on top of League of Explorers to complete this list essentially should cost you 500 dust or less in total. So no matter how new you are, as long as you have LoE and just a handful of dust, just a small sampling of dust, you'll be able to create this pretty competitive deck and play it on the ranked ladder. I would venture as high as rank 12 or rank 10 if you're really patient and persistent, maybe even into the single digits, since it does have some pretty powerful cards and a really smooth curve. So, the goal with the League of Explorers budget mage deck, if we just want to speak about it generally, really is to do a couple things. It's to get onto the board really quickly with a swarm of early game minions, particularly using tempo advantages for Mech Warper that allow you to get out expensive minions a little bit quicker than you otherwise might. Leverage that early game board presence for a little bit of damage on the enemy's face that you can then combo with quite a bit of in-hand burst damage in the late game that this deck allows you to squeeze out. So thanks to things like Fireball and Frostbolt and your Ethereal Conjurers, which give you spells and can be burst damage, and even your Archleaf Rafam, which can draw you burst damage spells. This deck actually has quite a bit of late game punch, so as long as you get off to a decent start and are able to maintain through the mid game, you can usually find ways to kill your opponent pretty quickly from there on out. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of these cards in this deck individually just to see their place and explain why they exist and how to use them. Up first is Clockwork Gnome. This is just a nice reliable one drop to get things started on the mech side of things. You can also use spare parts pretty well in this deck for a variety of reasons, a little extra damage or some tempo plays with a freeze. As a 2-1, it's not going to light anybody's world on fire, but it is able to pump out a little bit of damage over a couple turns if it does survive. And it has mech synergy with things like your Tinkertown Tech or your Mech Warper or your Gorilla Bot. And since it's so cheap, you can play it on the same turn with those other minions and guarantee that synergy in late game situations if you don't happen to draw it on turn 1. Your Cogmaster is another mech synergy card that's really just about pumping out damage. The hope is that you get it out on turn 1 and follow up with a mech and hit the enemy's face for 3, 6, or even 9 damage over the first few turns. Frostbolt is your do everything spell. It can just be 3 damage to the enemy's face. It can kill a minion that's threatening your own minions, or it can even freeze a weapon class from killing your minions or hitting your face as needed. Acidic Swamp Ooze really only comes into this deck because it's a free card and it's a good one. It doesn't exactly fit the mech mold, but weapon classes can be pretty threatening to mech mages if you don't happen to get your Snow Chugger or your Frostbolt out. So this is just another way to deny that weapon and play a pretty high value minion in this list that can make big plays even in the late game. Jeweled Scarab is another card that doesn't necessarily fit the mold of this deck, but it is a part of League of Explorers, so it does make its way onto the list anyway. As a 1-1, it's pretty useless, but really this card is more about card draw. And discovering a 3-cost card is pretty great in Mage. If you look at the 3-cost cards for Mage, there are some damage spells like Forgotten Torch, but there's really mostly a lot of secrets. And depending on the secrets you get, they can be extremely valuable. Mirror Entity's great, for instance. An Effigy might be good in the right situations. But really, it's just the flexibility that the 3-cost cards offer you. You can draw more cards if you want. You can stall your enemy with a Frost Nova. You can get a Flame Waker if you need a great minion. You can get removal or extra damage with a Polymorph. There's so many different things. 2 more good, solid minions that you might want, one of which is actually a mech, so there's some synergies there. Of course, you can also get neutral 3-cost cards, and a lot of these are super valuable as well. So that makes Jeweled Scarab better than you might otherwise expect based on its stats. Up next is really the core piece of this deck, and that's Mech Warper. This is the card that can sometimes win you games all on its own if you get a couple Mech Warpers out of the board on, say, turn 2 with a coin, you can follow up for some crazy free Snow Chuggers or 1 mana Spider Tanks or 2 mana Piloted Shredders. And those are the kind of plays that give you such an amazing board early that you're just basically able to steamroll your opponents and they never have a chance thanks to Mech Warper's effect. Snow Chugger's a really good early game mech. That's just a nice solid 2-3 body that's hard for people to deal with sometimes, but the freeze effect that this offers is also pretty powerful against weapon classes or to stall really big scary minions that might be threatening lethal or threatening your own board. Forgotten Torch is another new League of Explorers card. It's really just all about direct damage, and having extra ways to do damage in this deck is really nice when you're trying to finish out a game that has stretched on just a little bit too long. So you get the 3 damage from this initially, but you also get to add in an extra fireball basically to your deck that does 6 damage for even less mana. So that's pretty handy as well. Spider Tank is just a pure value mech body. It's nothing amazing when it comes to effects. There's no effect at all. It's just a 3-4 solid body that combos well with Mech Warper and gives you some sturdy, resilient boards in the early game. Tinkertown Tech is one of the mech synergy cards in this deck. There's only running 1 just for room and cost reasons, and we do have some other 3 cost plays, so we didn't want to overcrowd the 3 mana slot. As you can see, we already have 7 3 mana cards, and the curve looks pretty smooth. So just 1 makes its way into the deck. It's good because it's a 4-4 body for 3 if you do have that mech out, so that's really powerful for its cost, and the spare part as well can be very, very useful. Wolf Riders are just in this deck for damage. Sometimes 3 damage will be just enough to win you the game. They're not usually a turn 3 play, but on turn 6 or 7 when you're squeezing out extra damage, these can make all the difference. Fireballs are also just more direct damage to win you late game. 6 damage for 4 mana is fantastic. There will be very rare occasions you have to use these to clear a taunt out of the way for your minions, but usually you'll just want to send these right into the enemy's face. Elise Starseeker is a kind of interesting card for this deck. She's a little slower than you'd typically see in a Mech Mage list, but traditional Mech Mages do have a handful of late game cards that basically have bailouts that just in case games run too long or you lose your early game board presence and you're really flailing for a chance to win, there'll be a couple cards like normally Archmage Antonidas or Dr. Boom that give you some presence in the mid to late game to really sneak out an impossible win. And at least Starseeker is that kind of card. She gives you a solid body for 4 mana, which is nice, but she also sets up the potential that if a game runs past turn 10 that something crazy might just happen. Plus she's a free legendary as part of League of Explorers, so she's always fun to add into an LoE deck. GorillaBot A3 is another new League of Explorers mech. In fact, the only one. If you control a mech while you have this guy, if you play this guy while you control a mech, you'll be able to discover another mech, and that means you get to pick one of a random mech, and that can really do some interesting things. As a 3-4 body for 4 mana, this card's not that exciting, but the chance to get really powerful mechs like a Fel Reaver or a Piloted Sky Golem or a Force Tank or a Machineer Thermoplug or a Sneeds, there's a lot of great mechs this card can actually draw. The chance to do that makes it really, really good because it might give you an on-curve play, it might just give you a really strong tempo play, it might give you an on-curve play. It just gives you flexibility and allows you to control your destiny a little more, which is always very nice. Piloted Shredder, of course, makes it into just about every budget deck of mine and every budget deck everywhere, just because it's so high value. It's a mech, so it's perfect for this list. It's aggressive in its stat alignment, which is great for a deck like this. There's really nothing wrong with Piloted Shredder. It's kind of the perfect 4-drop, and it just has to be here. After that's another new card from League of Explorers. This is Ethereal Conjurer. This is a pretty interesting minion. In my old budget Mech Mage list, I've ran something like Reckless Rocketeer, which is a charging minion. Here we can look at it. It's not a mech. We've normally ran, there she is. Reckless Rocketeer, which is a 5-2 charge for that instant damage, but it's just such a squishy minion, and it's a little bit expensive that it always felt pretty bad to include it just because it was free. But Ethereal Conjure basically replaces Reckless Rocketeer and is in fact much better. Not only are the stats a little bit stronger and the cost a little lower, but the battle cry is fantastic. Discovering a spell is huge. There are so many good mage spells, and sometimes it'll be a fireball that just wins you the game. And sometimes it'll be something you desperately need, like an arcane explosion or a flame cannon, something that clears the enemy board or buys you time. So Ethereal Conjurer really just extends the length of your deck and gives you more late game options to win the game, which is fantastic. And then finally is Archthief Rafam. This is a very slow card for Mech Mages. Most Mech Mages top out with Archmage, Antonidas, or Dr. Boom as 7 mana plays. So this is a very, very slow card, and it just barely makes the list. But this deck does have ways to survive to turn 9 and still be in contention, thanks to things like Ethereal Conjurer and at least Starseeker and just high-value minions like Piloted Shredder. So sometimes having that late-game desperate play with an Archthief Rafam will actually make all the difference and sneak out a win that would otherwise be impossible. It's just that late-game nuke you can drop on the board and hope something happens. Otherwise, you'd lose the game without it. So, Archthief Rafam and his artifacts are essentially the Archmage Antonidas of this particular deck list. So there you have it. That's my League of Explorers budget Mech Mage deck. But that's not all we're going to do. We're also going to play this thing on the ranked ladder to see it in action and discuss some mulligans and lines of play and just general strategic decision making in this deck. Do note that we're still about midway through the season. I think I'm at rank 12 or something right now. I don't know, I bounce around a lot while playtesting decks. But that means that even at rank 12 right now, we're still seeing some pretty competitive players. You'll see the occasional legendary card back, and you'll see a lot of top-tier meta decks still at this point. So this will be a pretty good sense of how viable this card, or this list, plays into something like rank 8 or rank 5 even at the end of the season. And definitely is going to be more difficult than a traditional rank 12 at the end of the season. So in this mulligan, we definitely want to keep a mech. Since we're playing a weapon class, Acidic Swamp Ooze is actually okay too. These cards are a little slow. We have the coin, so 2 2-drops is fine. We'd still like to get a 1-drop, but we can actually coin out the Snow Chugger on turn 1 and deny any weapon shenanigans right away if we need to. He typically won't have an answer Paladins for a 3 health card on turn 1 or even turn 2, or really even turn 3. So we might just be able to lock down weapons for a while. So we're still going to make this play. The Zombie Chow does contest it, but it's okay. We can just ping it or ignore it because it'll be frozen for a while, depending on what else he does on turn 2 here.
Reporting for duty.
If he even makes the trade. He is going to make the trade. That really freezes that for... It's frozen for so long now that we can really just kind of ignore it. I don't want to give up my Snow Chugger to the Silver Hand, and I don't really have another good 2-mana play. I want to save this Acidic Swamp Ooze. I don't want to play it right now for 2 mana, so we're just going to ping this off and go face. We don't have to kill this because it's still frozen for another turn. It's not threatening anything. We have some 3-mana combos here we can ping and Cogmaster. We can do some different stuff, so... He might play a Muster for Battle, but he won't be able to attack. We don't ever have a good way to deal with Muster for Battle. There's no AoE in this deck at all, so we're just going to have to fight through that. It's going to be scrappy. We could Forgotten Torch. If he plays like an Eldor Peacekeeper. He might just Hero Power again. It looks like based on his timing and shuffling of the cards. We could Cogmaster and ping. That'd be a fine play too. It's a little slow, but... So he does have the muster and decides to run with it. I think we're just going to go ahead and break that weapon. I don't really care about freezing him too much. True Silvers are scary, but honestly not any scarier than a Life's Justice. Just because we have so many things with 1 health anyway. We don't have a good play, by the way. He can kill all this right now, but we have to throw something out there. We had the 1 mana to float. This, whether it's buffed or not, still trades into everything on the board, so it's kind of tanking this stuff. It's almost like it has taunt to an extent. And we don't have a good turn 4 play either. Our curve is really awkward because of these Wolf Riders. These are not turn 3 plays. These are turn 6, turn 7 plays, really. He might leave this alive, but I think that's a mistake. So he does have the True Silver. We can't do anything with it this turn. We're just going to be able to Wolf Rider, thankfully. This actually worked out okay. That True Silver doesn't threaten the Wolf Rider any more than anything else. This is what I meant with the True Silver not actually being any better than the Light's Justice. Except for, I guess, the 4 points of heal. But we had a chance to destroy all 4 charges of Light's Justice, and we probably would only ever get to destroy 1 charge of True Silver. So this is actually a 1-turn kill Murloc Paladin. If he gets to turn 10, things could get a little bit scary. So we're going to have to be careful. So here, we can't actually kill this very easily. We could. But we're not in a super big rush to kill it, because he has ways to clear our board anyway.
What to do? What to do?
Maybe we do just want to kill it. We get Forgotten Torch, ping. That's such a slow play, though. I want to start refilling my hand and getting multiple things onto the board. So I think this is my play. Okay, so Flame Leviathan, I don't really need that. It's too slow. Snowchugger wouldn't be bad against a weapon class, but I actually think we're going to stick with the Arcane Nullifier here, because he has a 1-turn kill later in the game, and a taunt might be really nice, and we don't have a taunt. So when it gets around to turn 10 and he's ready to swarm us with Murlocs, we might be able to play that Arcane Nullifier to survive, or at least deny him for a turn or two, and buy us a chance to win. So if he has 1 Murloc, he can clear up most of this board. Okay, this is not going to be a strong turn 6 for him. It looks like he's going to Hero Power. That's alright for us. He's not buffing that Murkai, so looks like he's going to run it into the Clockwork Gnome.
Move quickly.
Does he have Consecration, maybe? Oh, I think we were right. I didn't think he had another... Oh, he's just playing a second one. Okay. He was all weapons in that early hand. So he left us this, which is pretty nice. We're going to get to take advantage of the discount a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and make this trade. He could True Silver it anyway, so the difference between 1 health and 2 health is really not that significant. He can run the shielded mini-bot in, but then everything else gets a little more awkward for him as well. So we're also going to do this. You can't run that into both, so hopefully one of these 1 attack minions will stick. If he has Consecration, we're in a little bit of trouble because he can probably clear our board. Running the mini-bot in, Consecrate, kill whatever's left with the True Silver. That's not too bad on its own. That's all he's got. Interesting. We can kill that with a Forgotten Torch. I'll be happy to. Yeah, so I think we're just going to do this for sure. And we're going to buff this just to kill this. And now I have a debate. I can ping the Aldor, protecting it in this trade, or I can ping the face. And I think I'm just going to ping the face. Because I can still ping the Eldor next turn. We have a lot of mana and not a lot of cards. So I'm in no rush to preventatively ping this. I could have played the Cogmaster, by the way, but we're pretty low on resources, and he would have been able to kill it most likely. So I'm trying to stretch out our value a little bit. We really need like an Ethereal Conjurer or a Jeweled Scarab soon to give us a little bit more reach, more depth in card selection. Otherwise, we're going to run out, because I've been trying to save this Arcane Nullifier for late game. Oh, that's fantastic. See, he made a mistake there. He trusted that wasn't going to have 4 health. He got the very, very unlucky likelihood. But he can't kill it now. That works out great for us.
Move quickly.
Hopefully I don't drown in a monsoon anytime soon. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. We have to kill this first. It's just giving him more cards is a nightmare, and that's something we have to deny. We're going to start pushing for face, because we have 2 fireballs, 2 torches. We have a lot of ways to do damage. He couldn't kill this previously, so I think he'll have trouble killing it again. So I'm just going to leave the state as it was exactly the turn before. We just denied him resources, did a little extra damage, really. Went hero power for hero power. If it goes like that the rest of the game, we're going to be fine, because we have so much damage.
None may steal.
Okay, so he found a way to kill that, but... And he drew a card. That's a little unfortunate. At least he's out of mana. Okay, so... he's at turn 10. He's only killed 1 War Leader and 1 Old Murkai, so we're not actually close to being dead if he does summon all his Murlocs. I think he has, would be 2 plus 3 damage, would be 5 damage burst. That's not very much. I think we're just going to have to play this because we're running out of time. He has more cards than us, and we're going to fall behind a little if we don't. So this is awkward for him, probably. He probably has to kill this first. He can't kill this on it. So we hopefully deny the Cult Master. We have 5 damage that will hopefully survive, and a ping is 6 damage. If we get something like a Fireball, it might be just lethal right away. Okay, that helps him a lot. We can now run this in and protect this. He's got a trade here, but it takes him to 10. A mech would be good. A spell would be good. He might just kill that. No, he didn't. Interesting. Oh my goodness, he's got a lot of stuff on board. He actually just filled up his board though too, so... Oh, we almost would have had it if that had all survived. He has 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. He has 14 damage. He can't beat us with Murlocs because his board is full. Unfortunately, I think that's our best play. I'm just going to do this. If this stays alive, we actually have lethal next turn. If he doesn't do any shenanigans or kill us. So, he might ignore this. That'd be good for us. If not, we get to kill 1 extra Silverhand Recruit out of it, which could be good. But he's going to draw so many cards. I just need 1 point of damage next turn. If that had been a Whirling Blades, we probably would have won the game. Need a Frostbolt. Need one of my torches. Really just so many ways to win.
None may steal our
Jeweled Scarab probably wins the game. An Ethereal Conjure doesn't, because it might, but it's mana going to be pretty restrictive at 5 mana plus the Fireball.
Mind if I roll knee?
That's the one card that doesn't do it. This game we lose. If we'd gotten those in a different order, if we'd gotten the Spider Tank and then the Fireball, we would have won because the Spider Tank would have buffed the Cogmaster. It would have hit for 3 instead of 1, which would have put him at 6 this turn. And we would have got the Fireball for lethal off the top. But it came in the wrong order, so instead we just lose. He's got lethal. It's taken him a while to figure it out, I guess. It's a shame we didn't get any of our refill cards. No Scarab, no Ethereal Conjurer, no Archthief for Fom. So we ran out of gas. That's really one of the risks with a deck like this. But we will not give up.
Jaina versus Rexa.
Okay, another weapon class. That might be good for us.
You asked for it.
Okay, so we have a coin and a Mech Warper, which is always nice. I'd really like to get a 1-drop to get out on this Hunter as quickly as possible. I'm going to send these back just to be a little greedy. They're actually not too bad to keep since we have a curve. We can coin. But I want to get a 1-drop to really work with this Mech Warper. So that's a little worse, I think. The Frostbolt might be an upgrade. But the Starseeker we don't really care for right now. We wanted mechs. It looks like we're going to get half the same hand back anyway. I'm going to go ahead and coin this out. The mana might be awkward next turn, because we might float a mana, but it's a 2-mana card anyway, so it won't exactly penalize us. But if we do get another 2-mana card, we could play both, because it's very unlikely a Hunter can kill this without anything on board right away. So, okay. If we kill the Mad Scientist, it could be an Explosive Trap and we kill our Mech Warper. But I think we're going to do that anyway. Explosive Trap's not that scary for us. Alternatively, we could Frostbolt and go face and proc it now, but I might want to keep this on board to get this out next turn. So we're just going to make this play. Explosive Trap will kill this, but I might even play this first and eat 2 damage on it, just to get it out a turn earlier. So he must think that's Explosive Trap. Let's do this. Okay, it's Freezing Trap. That's actually the worst. I should have attacked with this one first, but that's not true. I shouldn't have. We're going to go ahead and do this, just because we have the mana, we have plays next turn, so I don't think I need the torch. And freezing him we have to do, of course, with the Snowchugger. His weapon is now gone until he deals with this, and he probably doesn't have a good way to deal with this. Although he's running Freezing Trap, so he might be a little bit more of a control type Hunter than a speedy one. I'd really like to play a 4-drop here, but unfortunately I can't. I have to kill that Knife Juggler, and I have to freeze him to deny that weapon. It's just too much value and too much damage. So I give up a little bit of board and tempo, having to use the hero power, but throw a snowball at him, see if it freezes him. Okay, that's gonna help us a little. So he's a face hunter, but he's running Freezing Trap as well. That really throws me off my game a little. We're already getting low. We're at 18. I have a choice here. I can kill the Arcane Golem with the Snowchugger. That takes off 4 damage right away. Or I can leave it alive, scary as that sounds, and hit his face to deny the weapon, which is 6 damage right now. I don't have another way to freeze his face, unfortunately. I'm thinking about just playing the Conjurer and ignoring all of his stuff and letting him do damage to me. Because it's either gonna put him in lethal range pretty quickly.
Want it?
And he might make a bad decision. So right now I'm basically going all in, and I'm going to take this polymorph because it's more damage potentially. So we might get punished here. We're leaving him 6 damage on board, but we have 10 damage plus 6 in hand and 4 more. That's 10 in hand plus 10 on the board. We have lethal if he doesn't clear our board or play a trap or something. So he's got some decisions to make. He's probably going to go face because he's a face hunter. No, he's going to explosive trap this. Okay. So I think we have to assume that's explosive trap, even though he's running 1 freezing. Either way, we don't have lethal, because if it's freezing, we lose some damage. If it's explosive, we lose a lot of damage. So I think that means I have to do this.
I'll get him.
Well, it doesn't really matter what I have to do too, but
Get him.
yeah, okay. This is gonna die to explosive trap no matter what I do, unfortunately. Unless it's a bear trap. If it's a bear trap, we can frostbolt it. So you may wonder why I didn't run that into the Haunted Creeper to extract some value. That's because it gives him extra damage next turn. He has 2 Haunted Creeper damage instead of 1 if I do that. So here, I have to pray that we're not dead. And that I can somehow squeeze out lethal next turn. I have 7 damage I know of. But we're probably going to be real close to dead. He has 5 we can see. He only needs 5 more. Oh, intriguing. He's a little scared. But I don't have lethal right now. I don't have any way to either, I don't think. Since he cleared our minion, we're done. We don't have a way to kill him. Oh! Oh! We're 1 damage off lethal! No! No! Why did this happen again? 2 games in a row. Ah! We had no way to stay alive, by the way, so that was the only play. I can't believe it. 2 games in a row, we've been 1 damage off lethal. If he hadn't cleared the snow chugga, we had it. Ugh, hate near misses. At least you are getting to see the potential of the deck. 1 damage being all the difference in these cases. But you'll note that strategically, both of those games, I made all-in plays. I stopped trying to stay alive, and I started trying to win. And that's a decision you have to make in every game. And typically with this deck, you're going to be doing it earlier than with a deck that's focused on board control. You have to kill them. And you have so many ways to do damage that don't be afraid to turn the corner. You'll be playing safely early, trying to keep the board in control, stay alive, build value. But at some point in the game, you got to turn the corner on staying alive and move towards killing them. So here, we're going to take the Mech Warper. Since we don't have the coin, this 3-drop's not going to be too appealing. We really want to see a 1-drop or another 2-drop. The Jeweled Scarab is okay. It's a 2-drop, right? But it's a slow one, and we really want to get out on the board against a Paladin, so we had to get greedy there. Fortunately, we didn't get the 1-drop. We can't use Mech Warper shenanigans next turn without a 1-drop again. Since he did play a secret, I think we're safe to do this. And next turn we might have a really strong play. Because he won't be able to kill this. He has no way to kill it right now. We just have to be mindful of the secret. But this is the dream right here with... Must be an Avenge. He just got it out a turn early. So we have a pretty good hand. We got... 7 damage on board. We've got 12 damage in hand. That's 19 damage we represent right now. He probably can't kill this stuff still. Yeah, we might just start going face already and force him to do cleanup duty. If we start clearing his minions, we're going to help his secrets out, and we can race, I think. Fortunately, Wolf Rider's pretty bad against this hand, but... So that's just a sad play for him, really.
I can fix anything.
He's going to be able to kill a lot of this stuff, but he's already so low. I still have 9 damage in hand. Consecration hurts us really badly right now. But even Consecration only leaves him with a couple minions on board, and he clearly doesn't have it. So he's now digging. How does he do this? He's frozen, so we denied 1 damage. He's still got 4. He can't kill everything. There's no way. He probably needs to kill the Snowchugger, but he's worried about damage, so he's going to turn towards the Cogmaster instead. That's a tough decision. I don't know what's right. But really, he doesn't want to use weapons because he's eating too much damage every time he uses it. So maybe he doesn't want to kill the Snowchugger. Maybe he doesn't care. So that's pretty good. He can run that in here and clean up the Cogmaster. That's not what I would have done. I would have killed the Snowchugger to keep that alive. But it would have been frozen, so who knows.
Move quickly.
Now he's just got to go face with these. What can he do? We're doing 5 more, plus 3 probably in a ping. Oh my. I'm just going to ping face. We might have lethal next turn. We probably will. I don't think he can heal, so we'll probably just fireball ping for the win. You might have an anti-heal bot or something. That's Mysterious Challenger doesn't do it.
Who am I? None of your
Doesn't do it.
business.
So now you get to see this deck just steamroll somebody, which is certainly what it does half the time. He's setting up for the nice play there, but won't do it. And that was a pretty great start. It's really solid early game curve. We didn't even get the 1-drop, but this deck was just slow enough to let us build up the board anyway. And we had the burst damage when we needed it right there in the mid game. So that's kind of the dream scenario with this deck. We just beat a Secret Paladin, right? One of the best decks in the world. Probably the best deck still, in my mind. Certainly top 3. And we made it look easy. So we might just play one more game here. Another Paladin. Man, I wish we had some more diversity, but it's not the same guy, is it?
You asked for it.
So again, we're going to make the same mulligan decisions we made last time. Just hope to get something to play with our Mech Warper. It's great to see that Mech Warper in the mulligan. Your 1-drops and your Mech Warper are always what you want. So this is not ideal. It's a little slow. Depending on what we draw, we'll make a decision here. Yeah, so there's no reason for me to coin out the Mech Warper. I don't have a turn 2 follow-up. If I had a 3-mana mech, I'd do it, but I don't. So I'm just going to play it a little slower. I'll be pretty sad. Okay, good. I was going to be sad if he played a Shielded Minibot, but I'm okay with that because I can still play this safely because Muster for Battle does not threaten it this turn. If he played a Shielded Minibot, Muster for Battle would have been able to kill this in combo with the Shielded Minibot. And I wouldn't have been able to get my Paladin Shredder out, but since he can't kill it yet, I can get my Paladin Shredder out. Just gonna force him to do the work. I don't want to trade for any reason. I need that damage. So you'll know that was a really big distinction between the Silverhand Recruit and the Shielded Minibot. Might swing the game in my favor. It's really, really bad. That's about the worst thing we could get because he can just clean it up. So that puts us off to a little bit of a slow start. We can play the Elise here. It trades okay. It doesn't die to minions alone. Is this better? No, I don't think it is better.
Have the artifact.
I don't think it's better, just because this might be useful as a mech later. It's not useful as a mech right now. He can still probably kill it really easily. The trade here sets us up for a ping. Probably gonna play this coin ping. Didn't feel like playing the Cogmaster just yet. It threatens the Shredder kind of awkwardly, but I'm okay with these squaring off. We actually have a pretty late game hand still. These aren't too great, the Wolf Riders, but the Archthief might be awesome. I don't have a way to kill that, probably. I actually can kill it, but if I want to is another question. What am I scared of? Am I scared of him getting extra mana? I don't know if I am. I have a lot of damage. He's at 21. I think I'm just gonna go for it again. This is pretty risky, I'll admit, but it's not gonna take much to win from here. It looks like he might be more of a control paladin, so he could have some heals that really punish this, but it doesn't hurt too bad.
Reporting for duty.
I'd like to get this out sooner rather than later. That's a great draw. It's perfect. We haven't got to see this yet, actually, hardly. So we're going to take the damage every time here. We have to worry a little bit about staying alive at this point. But he probably has to find a way to kill this. I don't think it's going to be easy. Oh, that's tough for us. Shoot. He's going to have to run that Thorson in, though, or he's still in danger. So I'll do 15 next turn if he doesn't. That's nice that we get to trade that. It's a couple turns later, granted, but the Lay on Hands was 6 mana. Is that right? Yeah, it must have been. Okay, so I'm going to do this again.
You want it? I got it.
And I'm going to take the damage again. And this time I'm actually going to ping off the Silverhand Recruit, because if I do, he may not have a way to kill that thing. I want to play the Cogmaster, but I also don't want to give him draws for the Acolyte for free, so I'm not going to. And now I have 9 mana, 12 damage play, which is pretty cool. And I might play the Archthief next turn. Or if we get another damage spell, I'll look for a 2-turn lethal and just start burning him now. Unless he heals or something.
Take heart.
Oh, wow.
Earth Mother.
This is a flash from the past, for sure. If he eats that 6 damage, oh, that's beautiful for us. I hope he does. I think he's going to. Is he gonna eat that? No, he's not. Okay. Smart. It's actually smart. I just hopeful. I really wish this could hit. I can use a Frostbolt to get 6 damage here, actually. I think I'm going to as well. I need another mech. These Cogmasters aren't doing anything right now. So I hate using a burn spell on that minion, but since it actually enables 6 damage, I basically traded a couple for... so I'm just playing these to buy time right now, because he has to figure out how to kill some of this stuff. And that might mean we stay alive for another turn and have a chance to kill him with, like, double fireball, something, you know. The game could end very soon either way. We're either going to kill him or we're going to fall so far behind that we never get a chance to recover. Oh, the reason I didn't play Archthief for Fom right there is because I wouldn't have been able to kill that Haunted Creeper, and I would have just been running a 6/2 into a taunted Haunted Creeper, which would have felt awful. So he's going to make this trade too and kill this for 1 damage. We'll put him at 13. So we did everything in the right order. Cleared the board. But we saved ourselves something like 8 damage there. So it might have bought us another 2 turns to find lethal. Anti-Killbot would be pretty crippling here. Okay, so... He has 13, 15, 16, 17. He has 19 damage. If that had been a fireball, we just win off burst. We have 10 damage now. We're 3 damage off. I'm dead if I don't clear the board. The only thing I can clear off that keeps me alive is Dr. Boom, which I think means I have to ping Fireball Dr. Boom, which feels awful, but it's the only chance we have. First, we're going to do this just to see what we get. Ugh. That would not have won us the game, but it sure would have been close. Alternatively, I can freeze the Dr. Boom. Can Forgotten Torch the face. Can ping the face. And I don't want to play this because it might allow him to kill a Boombot, which could somehow maybe give him lethal, and I don't care about the 1 damage. Now I just need another Frostbolt or the Roaring Torch or something to kill him again. Ah, I'm done. That's the game. Did not know he was going to have that. So, once again, we were 1 card off lethal, basically. The Lotheb Reno single turn shutout is pretty intense. That's Hearthstone, why you gotta do me that way? So many games we were 1 card off. I'm feeling a little unlucky tonight with the Mech Mage. I want to play 1 more game, just because we've been robbed basically 3 times by RNG gods, and that was not rewarding at all to me. So close. Every time. Just 1 card out of order. So hopefully as you start to play the League of Explorers budget Mech Mage, your cards will come in a little bit better order than mine have been thus far. Okay, so this is pretty good. Shaman, this is probably an aggro Shaman that's going to have a Tunnel Trog out early, which could be scary. That's one reason I'm keeping the Frostbolt, just to deny any like 7-3 Tunnel Trogs or something. I like the Cogmaster for 1, the Snow Chugger for 2. This is a weapon class technically, and who knows if that might deny a Doomhammer or something, so we'll keep it. Frostbolt 2 might deny a Doomhammer, so this might be a good coin turn 3 play if we get a nice solid curve that stays alive. So I'm really happy with this opening hand. It's about perfect. This might be a little unreliable. Piloted Shredder would probably be more consistent, but yeah. So there's the Trog. I don't think I want to feed this to the Trog because it's very likely going to be a 2-3 next turn. And he could trade into it for free. I think I'd rather coin out the Snow Chugger. That might die to a Lightning Bolt, though, and let him go. I think we're just going to deny that from ever having a chance to turn into something valuable for him. Oh, Ultra Magnus is his name. As a big Transformers fan, I mad respect that. Okay, we're not too worried about him. See what he picks here. That'll give us a lot of info and decision-making thoughts. Okay, got ping. That's fine. Looks familiar. We'll just play this on curve. We could play both 1-drops, but the Clockwork Gnome dies to Sir Finley for free, and that would deny the damage on our Cogmaster, so maybe we want to clean this up before we send this out to die. Okay, that's annoying. He's going to go face with it, though. It's really annoying. Alright, this is a good answer, though. He trades nicely. That was about the best thing we could have got, I think. Wish we'd done a little more damage, but he hasn't done too much to us either, and he's gonna run out of gas faster than we do. That's pretty tough with this. I'd like to have another Frostbolt to kill this thing. At least we get to do this. Huh. I don't think I can afford to give him a weapon from Blingtron. I think I have to take the Clockwork Knight. And we're going to kill this one because we don't want to sacrifice this guy for free. If he makes his trade, that's fine, but it's no different to us. And this still threatens the other 2 minions. But he's going to go 7 for face. I mean, he has to. It's that kind of deck. He's at 3 mana. Let's hope he doesn't have a good play. That's a great one. Shoot. Oh, we're low. Okay. So we have to start taking care of this board. I'm running this into here because it's worse than the spider tank, right? We can keep the spider tank alive here. We can ping this guy off, and we can kill this guy. So now the race really starts. He might just kill us with 2 crackles right off the bat. But hopefully he's a little bit... Ugh. I need a freeze. This into Ice Lance would be pretty clutch. 3-0 Conjure into Ice Lance. We're going to try that, actually, because we might just be dead otherwise. Ice Barrier's fine. If we survive next turn, that might be just enough to keep us alive, but we also just might be dead to a Rock Biter weapon or anything. 4 damage is so easy for this aggro shaman deck to put together. Plus, the Ice Barrier probably won't even keep us alive or whatever burst spell he uses next. The only thing we can, if he makes a mistake, yeah, we're just dead. So that's an aggro shaman for you. If you want to build a really competitive aggro deck that costs a lot of dust, that's one you should definitely consider. We've got some videos on the channel here. So I'm still going to play one more game just because I'm greedy and want to see this deck in action some more. I'm having fun playing even though we're losing. That game wasn't too great. We just got steamrolled and that's fine. But we've had so many near misses. I want to get a near win here eventually.
Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
Okay, so we love Snow Chugger again. That's great, but these 2 are a little slow for our taste in the smell again. That's even slower, unfortunately, but sometimes that happens. Yeah, this is not a great card against Hunter. This is there for the mid-range or the control decks that really stretch you thin late. Alright, thankfully he didn't have a turn 1, so this is going to be nice. If he coins out the Eagle Horn, he'll be able to kill it, but at least he's frozen for another full turn to buy us some room to work. Coin Animal Companion might be bad, yeah. Yeah, that's bad. We can't actually kill that very easily. We could torch it, but it doesn't really help us any. I'm just going to do this and not attack. It lets him make a decision, but it gives us room to work. And it might essentially deny it. If we attack it first, it gets to do 8 damage, right? Because it attacks on our turn and on his turn. If we only let him attack, it can only do 4 damage once. Or at least it'll have to do another 4 damage later. So we might be able to work a little easier. So he's just going to go all face. That's fine. Okay, I was hoping to get a 2-drop here so that I could ping trade. But it's not going to, unfortunately. So we have an awkward hand. That doesn't help either. We just had to float 2 mana. That is awful. So miserable. I wouldn't feel too bad against a control deck, but against a hunter, we have to get more out onto the board. That's so good too. It's a free trade. Everything is lined up awkward this game. We're doomed. We have no chance. I can clear the board. It's not too bad. He didn't attack, did he? That's interesting. I can Ethereal next turn and maybe hope to make some plays. Ethereal Cogmaster. He's taking a long time for his turns. I don't know what he's pondering up there. It's probably just going to be a Wolf Rider something. Or maybe Arcane Golem, Hero Power Wolf Rider. What could be happening up there in that hand? Is he not playing a card? Secret Wolf Rider. Secret Hero Power. Okay. This is a little susceptible to the secret, but I'm going to do it anyway. I can't afford to play slow. I have to get greedy now. This is especially susceptible to the secret. It's probably going to die to the explosive trap no matter what I do. But if he kills it, it will tell us that this is a freezing trap, because he doesn't want this to proc it. If it's an explosive trap, we might just run this in anyway to keep it alive. Oh, he's had a flare. He probably thought we were going to play a secret eventually, but not that kind of deck. So we're going to do this just to learn about the secret and possibly deny the secret altogether. And we have to start pushing for damage really quickly. Gonna go ahead and torch now because it increases the likelihood that we get more burst later, and it was the on curve play over Frostbolt. I kind of wanted a Frostbolt to potentially deny a weapon, but I think it's more important that we race at this point. We have 10 damage plus 9 damage. He's dead if he doesn't clear the board, so he's gonna clear the board though. At least part of it. Oh my goodness, if he doesn't clear... Oh, he's going to clear. Sad, I thought he was going to line him up. Wow, okay, so we... Goodness. Well, let's think about this. We take him to 15. We can do 10 more. We take him to... We have damage over 2 turns for sure. We can do 16 now.
What to do?
But I think I have to freeze him now because we're so close to dead. A weapon would kill us. I'm going to ping this off because it doesn't matter for our damage, but it might matter between killing us and not killing us. So I have to hope that that made some difference. And the ping to the face didn't matter, but that could have made all the difference if he's 1 damage off. Of course, 2 kill commands kills us. Yeah, he's got it, I'm sure. He's 1 damage shy right now, so quick shot, another kill command, Wolf Rider. There's like 7 things that kill us. Yeah, that too. Man! 1 damage again! Ugh! That is the... Ugh! That is the 3rd, I think, game in this set that 1 damage off lethal or on lethal. In hindsight, maybe I could have time rewindered the Piloted Shredder to deny the Unleash the Hounds, but I don't think it would have made a difference. I'd have to look, but I don't think it mattered. I'm done with the League of Explorers budget Mech Mage. I'm sorry you didn't see a couple more wins. I've been playing this deck throughout the day, and I've been maintaining a great win rate. It's felt pretty good all day. Unfortunately, sometimes it lines up where the time you start recording isn't always the time that you win games. But you saw how close we got every single game, and just 1 point of damage here or there can make all the difference. And hopefully you're a little bit more lucky than I was tonight. I know you will be. It's a pretty consistent deck through and through, so that won't happen too often or too regularly or too consistently. But here is the League of Explorers budget Mech Mage again, so feel free to jot down this list and craft this deck. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a ton of fun and also very competitive, so if you have any questions on the deck, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. If you're looking for card upgrades or replacements, let me know what you've got, and I'll tell you the weakest cards in the whole list to replace, and we'll go from there. I'm happy to work with you and help you find a deck that works for you. So thanks so much for watching. Go out there and don't be 1 damage off lethal every single game of the night. And have fun playing this deck on the ranked ladder. Until next time, this is Regis Kilbin. Game on.